What's going on, people? Welcome into the top 10 underrated mods for 26.2. You won't find these anywhere else. Let's get into it. Jump into our pond here. We're going to start off at these command blocks, and if we press this button here, we will see a nice example of the mod advancement plaques. And what this mod does, instead of giving you a tiny little thing in the corner for your advancements, it gives you a nice little bar up the top. And there's three different versions. We just saw the copper here, the silver, which is a little more rounded around the edges. I like this one personally. Nice little sound with it as well. And then of course for the purple advancements we have our gold, which looks absolutely incredible in my opinion. But yeah, it's a cool little mod to add a bit of whimsy to when you get an advancement, and it works really well if you play with any sort of advancement packs such as like Blazing Caves, or there's Advancement Plus, the mod, where you're just getting advancements constantly, and it just adds a little more excitement to it, I guess. Alright, our next mod is a mod called Double Doors, and it's pretty self-explanatory, guys. You click one door, both of them open. Works with redstone, and it also works trapdoors, fence gates, these also work with redstone. But it's a nice little convenient mod, you know, you don't have to click both and close both every time you want to go in your house. And I personally play with it all the time, so highly recommend this one. Alright, our next mod is a mod called Ambient Sounds, and you've probably been hearing it throughout this whole video. It's the mod responsible for the cricket sounds and the owl sound you're hearing right now and the bird sounds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a few different clips through different biomes so you can hear sort of how the Minecraft world sounds, you know? How peaceful was that? Awesome mod in my opinion. Absolutely immerses you fully into the Minecraft world. Freaking amazing. Alright, our next mod is called Fish on the Line. And what this mod does, it gives you a ping whenever you catch a fish. It's really convenient in my opinion. This is a nice convenient mod, like if you're watching YouTube on the side or a TV show or something, you know, you're just distracted, you fishing, you want that mending book, you're trying to fish for your mending, you want food, whatever it is. It's a nice convenient mod. You can be like, oh, I got a fish, and then reel it in straight away. So yeah, it's a pretty small mod, but you know, it's useful, especially if you like fishing. Alright, our next mod, this is one of my favorites. This is a mod called Little Joys, and there's 4 examples of these. It kind of adds little events into your worlds. And yeah, 4 of these different events, all to do with different things. So this first one is called a dig spot, and if we mine up this grass here, look at that. Not only do we get our dirt block, but we get Blast Protection 1. Wow, that's such a good book. Oh my goodness. And we get 2 bones. But this can vary a lot. You can get gold, you can get iron, coal. I've gotten like infinity books and protection 4 books from these. They're pretty good. Alright, this next one, we're going to need our fishing rod back actually. So let's go over here, let's grab this. This is called a fish spot. And if we chuck it in here, it automatically comes. We wait for our fish, bang, and we get a whole load of loot. This is a pretty good one. Oh my goodness. Look at all this. 2 totems of undying, echo shard, and a nautilus shell. And again, this can vary quite a bit. Why do I have 2 fishing rods? What is going on? Okay. But this can vary quite a bit. You can get a bunch of different stuff. Totems is probably one of the best things you can get from this. But yeah, you can also get like string, I think, fish, obviously. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Okay, and this next one is what we call, we're going to have to get it up with commands. it's a gold rush. So if we do this, quickly get our pickaxe out, start mining. But as you can see, the ore is respawning, so we get heaps more than we bargained for. And this will happen randomly when you're digging up ores in the caves. You know, but instead of getting 1 gold ore, we got 8. How good is that? Let's chuck it back in the hole. Maybe it'll form another ore. Alright, our last one for this Little Joys mod is, they call it a drop rush. And if we put this command in here, as you can see, the wheat starts flying everywhere. We have to go pick it up before it despawns. We're on a timer. Gives us a nice little music track while we're doing this as well. Bang. No littering. And this will happen when, randomly, when you're harvesting your crops. And it's just a bit of fun, you know. You get a little extra, like we got another 8 wheat out of that, instead of just the 1. Yeah, it's a nice little, just joyous mod, really. It brings a lot of whimsy to your world, in my opinion. One of my favorites. Okay, this next mod is another sound-based mod, but it is called Enhanced Biome Music. And basically what this mod does is it plays certain music when you're going into certain biomes. And I'm going to try my best to give you an example here in these clips. Yeah, pretty sweet mod in my opinion. Adds a lot of immersion to the game. And of course, you gotta love the Minecraft music. It's absolutely peak, bro. Alright, our next mod, moving straight on, is a mod called Particle Effects. And this mod, again, self-explanatory. If we give ourselves this regeneration here, as you can see, we have special little particle effects instead of just the swirly whirlies, you know? So we have nice little love hearts for the regen. What do we have in here? We got some fire resistance, nice. So you can see it's a little flame. Well, that was a good one. And then what's in here? Jump boost. For the jump boost, we have little arrows that point upwards. So it's nice, and you can kind of tell what effect you have when, you know, you're not really looking up there. You can't see. You know when your like crafting recipe thing covers this up sometimes. You can still see it then. So it's pretty nice. Tiny little mod, but you know, makes all the difference. Alright, after giving myself some milk, we're back. And our next mod is called Lodestone Locators. Or is it? It might be Locator Lodestone. Anyway, what it does, if we click this compass onto the lodestone, as you can see right down by my hotbar there, it adds it to our locator bar, so we can find our way back not only from the compass but from the locator bar down there. And this works when the compass is just in your inventory as well, so you don't actually have to look at the compass. You can just use your locator. It's pretty cool. I don't think it works when it's out of your inventory, no. So you have to have the compass at least on you. But this is really cool if you don't really like the waypoint sort of system, if you're using a waypoint mod. If you want something a little more vanilla feeling, more vanilla friendly, I guess, this is the mod for you. And what I like to do with this mod is I get a bunch of these things and I put them all in a bundle, and that then puts all of them on there because they're all in my inventory. So it's like having waypoints without waypoints, guys. So nice. Alright, our next mod is a mod called Vertical Scroll. And this mod is extremely useful. I can't play without this mod now that I've found it. And basically what this mod does, if we press Control is what I've bound it to, but I think it starts off as left alt. But as you can see, it brings up a little menu on our hotbar, and we can scroll through this menu to bring up anything in our inventory. And I'll show you in a second. You can do it with weapons, tools, whatever. It can be anything in the game. I like to set up, so I have all of my tools in this one, all of my weapons in this one, and then I have a bunch of utilities in this one. So food, golden apples, rockets, my chest plate. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, so what you need to do for this is you set it up like this, and it'll scroll through these things here, these columns. But it's pretty easy to set up. You know, you sacrifice a little bit of your inventory, but for infinite benefit in my mind. It's a really convenient mod. I can't play without it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm reliant on this mod. Okay, last mod, guys. And this is a really, really cool mod. You might have heard of this one. It's relatively popular. It is a mod called Cool Rain. So if we come onto here, press this button here so it starts raining. We give it a listen. As you can hear, there is custom rain sounds for underneath certain materials. This is wool. Leaves is another one of them. And as you see, we get little droplets coming through the leaves, which is pretty cool. I really like this one. So it does add a lot of ambience when you're in the forest as well, because you will hear all the little droplets coming off, falling off the trees. And our last one is any metal block. So like copper, I think it works with iron as well. And this one is amazing. I love this sound so much. It reminds me of when I was a kid. But yeah, absolutely peaceful mod. So cozy. I love it. Alright people, that was my top 10 most underrated mods for 26.2. This was my first video, so please, any feedback is gonna be freaking amazing. I genuinely do want to improve at this, so please give me any feedback you want, harsh as you want, whatever. Think about hitting that subscribe button, please, please, please. Like the video. See you later. Bye.